Hey chick, okay, so you said that you want to learn how to paint or how to use the brushes in Photoshop, so this will kind of show you how. Make a new file. I just start with 8.5 by 11. Okay, so this is the brush, and there's a pencil here as well. I can't find it right now, but don't use the pencil. A brush is much more easier to work with. So when you have the brush, you have the brush presets. They're up here, right? They can give you different options like brush types, brush sizes, brush modes, oops, opacity, and then flow. Okay, so for brush size, you click this button here and you get to mess around with the size and the hardness. And then you have the different brush types here. Don't get confused, these are different kind of brush types. This is the regular brush set. As you can see, it's all pretty easy, like it's just flat. It'll show you what shape it has and how it looks like when you move the brush across the canvas. So these are called hard brushes because it's pretty simple all throughout. There's no pen pressure. It will always be the same. I always work with hard brushes actually. These are called the air brushes because it has that little fuzzy thing. It's for softer painting and when you want to blend. But again, notice it doesn't have any pen pressure. It's still flat. So the way to do that, or to adjust that so it has pen pressure, is you click this little thing. It's like a little folder with brushes sticking out of it. And it should open a window here. You can also, if you can't find that there, it's actually on the file here. Go to Window, Brush. There's a shortcut for it too, but I don't use a shortcut. Right, so Window, Brush, and it'll open this toolbar thing here. It'll give you more options on messing around with the brushes. It'll give you, yeah, more options. So say for example, I chose this hard brush, this one, and it's all flat around, but I want it to have pen pressure. To do that, you click on, you have these options here. There's scattering, texture. It'll change the way this brush works. If I click Shape Dynamics, and the check mark turns on, then I can play around with the pen pressure over here. See? It says pen pressure. And now you can see that's how it looks like when you press the hardest. This is how it looks like when you press the least. And when you adjust this, it'll adjust the pressure. So if I take down the minimum diameter, which means when I'm hardly touching it, the smallest it'll go will look like this. When I paint, it does this. See? Size jitter. This is just, you can, honestly, you just experiment, mess around, I don't care, just try the different brushes and different things it does. It's pretty cool because you'll find later on that this is helpful for your drawings. Like, say example, I want to make a texture for hair or dreads. I do that. It's like hair, right? Oops. Okay, I cleaned the canvas. So yeah, you basically mess it up like this one, scattering. Look what it does. When you do this, it spreads all the dots. I'm actually wondering if you can see this, because sometimes it's a little too small. Nope, never mind. Okay, and now it does that. To even have it bigger, you can just make the size bigger, size of the brush bigger. Oh, by the way, a brush shortcut would be, oops, off. Brush, right, brush window, to open the window. It's brush, it's window and brush to open the toolbar. To adjust the brush size, by the way, the shortcut for brush is B. Brush size The shortcuts are usually, this one? Yeah. The shortcuts are, well, my keyboard's a little different, so this is the shortcuts for brush size. These two. The one parenthesis, I forgot what you call those. This is to make it smaller, and this is to make it bigger. Right. See, yeah, that's a shortcut on the keyboard that you can use. If you want to, if you're not used to the keyboard, when you're on the brush, you can always right-click anywhere, and it'll show up here. See, all the brush sets and the size. You can just resize from here. Right. But like you want a pen pressure, so when you go to shape dynamics and you check that, I messed around with everything here, so it's all weird. I'm gonna reset everything. Is it this? I don't remember. Oh, there, this one. See? There. For pen pressure, it's shape dynamics. Don't forget, mess around, try everything here, see how it looks. Okay? Let's see, what else am I forgetting here? When you don't need this, by the way, you can just put it here. When you click and drag, it'll stick that window in there. Or you can just resize it. And just keep it here on the side, right? Okay, so remember what I told you about layers? I know you're still kind of getting it, but just think of it this way. When you open the Photoshop and you have a background layer, by the way, I drew on the background layer. So even if I try to move the black, I can't, because it's attached to the background layer. It's like if you have a sketchbook with only one page of paper, and you want to put like cellophane on top and write in there, the sketchbook will always be there, right? You can't move that. But the way to, actually I don't know if I should do that yet, but anyway, we'll move to layers. Here, the way to paint, or if you want to paint, because I know you're having trouble with that, don't forget, whenever you paint in Photoshop, always start a new layer. Because if you paint on the background, like I said, if you're painting on the sketchbook, you can't paint underneath anymore. You can only paint above. Gets? So if you want to paint underneath your lines, always work in layers. Layers. So I made a new layer here. Make another one. So say example, I'm making a drawing over here. I'll make one of your Queen Migs because I always like drawing him like this. And like it's all clean and whatever, and you were working on it for a while. Like that. Okay, so let's say I have this drawing here and I want to color it. See, because I put in a layer above, I can move it around. But I drew these other ones. By the way, this is to hide it, the little eyeball. Because I drew these other lines on the background layer and it's locked, I can't move it. Always make new layers. Okay, and I want to color your Queen Migs. I will label this layer line. Make a new layer and label that color. And put that below the line layer because I want to color underneath it. Now you can pick colors from these two swatches over here. There's black and white. To get more color options, double tap it. And this color picker comes up. And then you can choose any color. Slide up and down, hue, saturation, and all that. let's say I want to choose peach. Peach is like skin tone. It's orange, but kind of unsaturated orange. And I click OK. That color will change over here. They give you two options in case you want to mix with two different colors. So if I click white, I change it to say brown or something. I have my peach there still. My brown is in the second swatch. You can choose colors here as well on the top right, color swatches. It also works if you want. But I'm used to choosing these two. So now I have my brush and I have the colors I need and I paint. And you notice it goes underneath the lines. And then I choose the brown. By the way, the reason why this one is always underneath is because that's not the primary, it's the secondary. It's not activated. To activate it, or to make it the first color you want to use, there's a little switchy arrow there. It swaps it. When you swap it, the brown becomes first, and now I can use it. But it saves the peach. That's the reason why there's two. If you want to save a color. Okay, so say example, I colored in everything. So be sure your layers are always in order. Like the top layer is the one that comes first. Bottom layer goes in the back. If my color layer is above my line, that's how it looks like. And that's one, right? So that's kind of the basics. There's other more ways to color. One thing I can teach you and I can send to you is different kinds of brushes. So when you start with Photoshop, they give you a basic set of brushes like this one. But the way to get new brushes is I'll send you a file and you load it. So there's this little like arrow cog thingy here. When you click it, it says here load brushes. And there's other brushes here you want if you don't want to use the one I give you. But there's like wet media, natural brushes, calligraphic, faux finish. But some artists, they make their own brushes. Abe uses his own brushes. I steal from him. To load, you click load brushes, and then I'll give you the file. You choose the file. Like example, I have my own here. I named it. You load it. And then below this one, when I scroll all the way down, there's all these different brushes. These are the ones that I use. They give you different textures. You can tell how it looks like as a stamp over here, and how it looks like when you smooth it over, when you put it on the canvas. Like here, I'll choose this one. Then a chain brush is kind of cool. So this is how it looks like as a stamp. I'll put this on a separate layer. But when I move it along, it becomes a chain. Like this one, it's a weird squiggly brush. This is how it looks like. But when I move it along, it looks like wool or something. You can play around with it. Choose different colors, darker color, for depth. Yeah. Okay. If there's anything else you want to know, just let me know. I know I'm gonna go in more in depth with how to color and stuff, but I wanted you to be super clear and to mess around with the brushes first and understand it and get used to the layers. Okay, love you, bye.